Do-dan-dee-bo. That was weird. Okay. Let's see. This one? No.
But today, I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you. But today,
But today, I'm the greatest. Well, I'm alright, Yo, what up?
None of us are as good as Ricky Henderson was on that day, or probably any day.
Yeah, it's tough to be one of the greatest of all times, but you can try. I guess I don't know. What's good with you, dude?
I'm fighting it today, Debo. I ventured out last night. Had a few cocktails. Half a bottle of wine. Didn't get a lot of sleep.
Okay.
Got up early for work today. So I'm fighting it, but I got my guard up. I'm jabbing out of the corner.
Did you get your steps in?
I can.
Did you get your steps in?
I got all my steps in.
Okay. All right. Sometimes when you hit a little bit hangover, you don't get all your steps in. At least for me.
Well, I was running around for work all day today, so I couldn't. I had no time to wallow in my misery.
That's the worst. I like to wallow in it for a little while. You know what I mean? Clean it up for a minute. But let me ask you: this is probably not the worst hangover you've ever had? You probably had worse hangovers in life.
I've definitely had worse hangovers in life. I've had to go to work with worse hangovers in my life.
What sticks out? Top five. What sticks out? Top five.
My high five worst.
No, not your high five. Just what sticks out? Top five hangovers, give or take. What sticks out in your mind?
So there was the one that immediately jumps out.
Sure, that's the one. That's what I want to talk about.
That's the one you want?
Well, because it obviously it doesn't have to be the worst. It sticks out in your brain for a reason, because I'm about to find out the reason.
Well, in my younger days,
youth we call it.
I would attend Coachella before there was a pandemic. I would go to Coachella, and I went while I had to work Monday morning when I was working as a surgical technician doing eye surgery. And I went to Coachella and I partook in a lot of the events that Coachella has to offer late into Sunday, early into Monday morning.
Okay.
I caught about a 30-minute nap, and then I drove from Coachella 2.5 hours to work, changed in my scrubs, no shower, no sleep,
straight to it,
and went to work. And I mean, look, I didn't blind anybody. Nobody got hurt in the making of this story.
For legal purposes, we have to say that his blood alcohol content that morning was 0.0. But
it was 0.0.
Yeah, but my question is,
but it was a rough morning.
Why does it sticks out so hard? Because you had to go to work in the morning? That's what made it so bad?
It sticks out so hard for two reasons. Okay. One, because I had to go straight from Coachella to work.
Okay.
And because, I had to go to work. No rest for the weary.
Well, I'm going to throw
because we've all had that hangover where you're just laying in bed and it hurts, and you feel like if you move your pinky, you're going to puke, and you got a migraine. We've all been there.
You ever felt it so bad? You ever felt it so bad you just hurt in your liver? Your liver hurts?
I felt so bad my liver's soul hurt. Like, I was wondering, like, what is this? Is this what an out of body experience feels like?
The one that sticks out of my mind, dude, because I figured you were gonna have a super solid. I tell you what, man, the one that sticks out of my mind personally is that it was a good night. We had a good time. Everybody had a good time. I had a good time. I know I had a good time. I don't even know. I have no idea what I was doing earlier that evening, but I remember that night, and I remember I felt like I had a good time, and I was sitting in a Snuggie. You know, a Snuggie. It's like a blanket, but like you have.
That's how you know you had a good time.
Yeah, right. Because you're in a Snuggie, and it happened to me. You know what it was? It was a Snuggie from like a Christmas party, one that we had went into actually. And if you look at the Snuggie, you're in it. It looks like it's a silhouette of a person in front of you,
right?
Kind of giving you a fellatio.
A hug.
Yeah,
okay.
a hug.
Yeah.
A hug. There you go, a hug.
A Snuggie. They're giving you a
They're
Snuggie.
giving you a Snuggie. It's a new word for that. I'm gonna call it. So anywho, with me and my Snuggie and my inebriation, I'm sitting in a chair, on a rocking chair. I look left. I look right. I'm like, I'm not getting up. So I just do it right there on the Snuggie.
Yeah.
Right there on the Snuggie.
I feel like Snuggies are disposable.
Well, that's what I felt about it. I wasn't like going to keep it. You know, I was like, 50-50. I'm not getting up. I'm not going to the, you know what, this will work. And then, you know, the wife comes in at that point and then is like, really? Really? And I'm just like, yeah, kind of, really. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens. Anywho.
You know what? I thought of another one.
Okay.
And you just reminded me of it because you ruined the Snuggie. So my partner, when we very first started dating, my first birthday that we were dating, we were going to take a trip together.
Okay.
And it was a flight we were taking. And before this trip, because it was my birthday, we stopped at Angelo's, met up with some friends.
Nice.
Ate some bacon guacamole cheeseburgers, drank some beers.
As you do.
And then from there, I drank some beers. She didn't. From there, she drove to LA, where we were going to stay in a hotel room and then fly out of LAX early the next morning.
Baller.
We get to the hotel room, hit the bar. One thing leads to another. We make it back to the room, fall asleep.
Oh.
Cool. I wake up maybe 30 minutes before we have to leave for this flight. And I am just destroying the Snuggie. I am just demolishing. I am calling the dinosaurs.
Oh boy.
I am praying to the porcelain god, and I cannot make it stop. And she, you know, this is like our first trip together. This is like, you know, we're brand new.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what's going on. She thinks this is how I am every time I drink.
So this is the dude.
And it continued. I continued ruining the Snuggie on the plane, in the bag, in the little bags they give you.
Nice.
So I've never been this guy except for this one time, but that has to be so terrible to be next to the guy using the puke bags on the plane, like the whole way. Because you can't. It's not like you can get up.
No, and it stinks, and everybody hates you on the plane.
And everybody hates you.
Everybody.
And there's no like.
You excuse yourself?
I'm not feeling well enough to get up and dispose of it myself. That's why you use the bag, because you can't even get up.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you just have to apologize to everybody around you.
I'm just
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one was the worst.
That's you know, I'm gonna the last one. I'm gonna drop it because I mean we'll be here all night because there's been a few. I was on because you were talking about a plane and you know, plane rides were making the worst.
See, one thing leads to another.
I was in New Orleans for my first and only time, and I was there with me and my wife and my father, and we were on the top of this building called 360, and the outer rim of this building rotated. Now, whatever guy said, let's put a rotating building on top and then serve alcohol. Fuck that guy. And I don't mean that, like, I don't mean to be rude. Like, I hope that didn't come across too bad, but I mean that to that guy because damn, bro, you really put me in a bad situation. You let me drink oatmeal cookie shots. I don't know if you ever had those. Oof. They taste delicious. Not something you want to spend out on. Not something you want to spend out. Anywho, oatmeal cookie shots and having a good time. And so anywho, the next morning, I think we know where this is going. And you got to do it. You do it. And I'm on the toilet. And I have to do it, so I just kind of lean over into the bathtub and just kind of, you know, give it to the bathtub. Well, the wife comes in 10 minutes later, and I didn't clean it up. You know. Oh man,
it's a wonder you're still married.
so she just screams. You just hear like, "What the fuck?" You know. And I'm like, "Oh man, my bad. That's me. You know, that's I'm the guy. I'm the guy. To make matters worse, we're about to get on a plane. We have to get on a plane this morning and leave and go somewhere. And we had met a couple the night before, and so we went to breakfast with them. And as I'm standing there talking to the guy, we're outside of Denny's. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, yeah, man, I gotta go. And I had done it. It is too late. It was too late. It already happened. It already happened. It happened in my shorts. Okay. So I had to run to the bathroom in Denny's, and I had to ditch the shorts. I had to ditch them. I was like, no, they gotta go, man. So yeah, I was chapless on the airplane that day because no chance. But
we might have to revisit this on Monday's show. Because you've reminded me of another, and we're just going to keep going back and forth. And I don't want to hijack this show,
right? Over the drunken throw up show by Dude and Deep. I get it. Okay, before we get too far, hey, listen, I'm gonna throw a shout out. And where's your mic? Let me see if I can get to here real quick and mute that. Perfect. All right, so a quick shout out to the dude's partner. I'm going to go ahead and shout that out because the dude forgot about you. And happy birthday to the dude's partner. I'm going to go ahead and say that one too. Since I was the one who said it, I'm going to go ahead and skip my points. I'm going to go ahead and unmute the dude so he can come on back. The dude, as we... Damn. Yeah, that's all for you. As we went and gave our shout outs on our first show for the second season, I want to make sure we thanked everybody that came on the show. Chris Sove and Chris and the other Chris. And we probably met a new friend named Chris. Everybody. We talked about everybody. Who? Everybody. We talked about the who's Hank? What was Hank's first name?
Hendertucky
Hank. We talked about Gas Cap Lady, but we left out my partner. Left out my partner. And
my partner, to be more specific.
Well, to be specific,
right. I understand.
It's your partner, but we call her my partner, and you call her. So, anyways,
right. I call her my partner.
Yeah, your partner. And so, I just want to give her a shout out. And also wish her happy birthday. I heard she had a birthday the other day. So
birthday yesterday.
There you go. And so that was something we missed from the previous show. I had a note written down here. Make sure to get that in.
I feel like I'm going to be sleeping with Hendertucky Hank tonight.
It feels like you're going to be relocating to somewhere, but I'm sure she'll let you know where that's going to be. One more thing that we did. We had some auditions again.
This one was good.
Did you get a little bit of it of the auditions that came in? Yeah, I like this guy. He came in and he was kind of like a Rasta guy a little bit. I kind of seen him and I was like kind of cool, but he was very laid back, very very laid back. And I thought he put it in a good jam. Let's listen to this is the Dude and Debo intro talent.
You got Rasta? Is this the one I'm thinking of? I got more of like a bluesy, kind of a folky almost.
The dude had dreads when he came in, but right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's let's let them decide. We'll see what they see if we can pull up my man real quick here. Do and deep up that deal. Do and deep. Oh, do and deep up. Do and deep. Do and deep up. Do and deep. Do and deep up. Do and deep. Do and deep up. Yeah, do and deep. There he is.
He really let it fly at the end there. It took him a little bit.
Yeah, he had to get into it. He was a little nervous for you. But I liked him. He was a cool guy. It's a cool start for the Dude and Debo intro song. So we'll leave that guy on there. I don't know, man. The other guy's still my favorite. The death metal guy.
He's the leader in the clubhouse for you.
Still is, man. He just rocks it out for me. But
anyway, we'll send him a shirt or a headband or something.
Get him a Kumite belt. Dude, tonight we are talking about the GOAT. Can you make? I don't even know what a GOAT sound is. I think it sounds something. I don't even know. What is a GOAT sound?
I think it sounds like Ricky Henderson.
But today, I'm the greatest.
Something like that. That's what a GOAT sounds like, right there. Okay. All right. That's a good GOAT sound. Greatest of all time. in sports.
The sports goat.
Sports goat. We
Mount Goatmore, if you will.
we don't normally narrow fields. We like to leave things very broad and open. But the GOAT of sports. And so we're gonna see who we can get in the high five tonight for the GOAT of sports. A lot of greats out there. But before we even start mentioning names, let's go ahead and get these guests out here, man, because they've been waiting in the room while we've been talking about our drunken escapades. So, dude, if you wouldn't mind introducing our guests for tonight.
I mean, they're liable to be drunk at this point as long as we took to build up to this. First of all, we're going to bring in the Kumite GOAT since we're doing a GOAT show. We're going to bring in the Kumite GOAT, Mr. Chris Sauvé himself, the greatest of all time.
I've been in a lot of Kumite.
I was going to make a joke out of it, and I couldn't think of. You've been in a lot. You're the Tom Brady of Kumites, I feel like.
It's no joke when you're talking about Kumites, right?
I think he is the Tom Brady of Kumites. I think
right, isn't he?
Yeah, I think.
Hey, Duder, does Stacy still work at Angelo skating around on the roller skates, or what's going on?
I think she still does. I think she's still there. Last time I was there, I saw her.
Yeah, I mean, Debo would be the one to check. He's been there more recently than I have.
I still love that place. That's a great spot.
I think I'll be going there next Friday, as a matter of fact, because we're doing a thing at the house here called Burger Fridays. So I think for sure next Friday deserves a good Angelo's party.
We got to do a show from Angelo's. We got to do a remote
awesome.
After the pandemic.
I tell you what, man,
I would drive down for that.
If we get the studio guy over there helping us out, then I tell you what, I'll do a remote without a problem. But do me a favor, brother, and introduce our next guest. It's kind of weird, but we'll bring
since it is the GOAT show, we're going to bring on the GOAT producer. We're going to bring normally he's behind the scenes. He's our backstage. He's Oz, but he's the wizard, I guess.
Ooh, nice.
But we're going to bring him out, producer G. G, what's going on, my man?
Oh, nothing. I will do the remote for you. I will be there.
How does it feel to be on this side of Oz?
Yeah, it's different. At least I have a voice now. So as long as I stay in baritone, we're all good.
just keep it right, baby. Make it right, baby.
Yeah.
Keep it on that FM radio, boys.
It's late night on a Friday.
Gentlemen, we are talking about the greatest of all times in sports. We need sports people, sports gods, okay? And let's be honest, dude. Let's break the ice here, okay? We're talking about Tom Brady. Is what we're doing. I'm gonna jump in the forefront because Tom Brady has done something recently, which has made us think about the GOAT. Think about these greatest of all times. And I mean, I don't want to start with Tom Brady. Maybe someone's going to bring him up. But I mean, like this sports icon, this god, this person of sports, this person, Tom did it pretty good. I mean, what was it, 6, 7 rings, football.
7 championships.
It's not easy to do, I mean, most people are like 1 would be fine. But yeah, what do you guys got out here for this sports GOAT? Looking over you, Sauvé, what you got, man?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the only guy that really compares it, he is the GOAT. In fact, his nickname is the Great One. Wayne Gretzky is my number 1 GOAT of all time, for sure. Dominated his sport.
Bam.
He's got the most goals. He's got the most assists. He's got the most points, which for those of you that don't know hockey, that's the goals and assists. They keep that as a stat. And, I mean, it's not even close. He's got
Chris, I'm going to go ahead and interrupt you there. If because I'm not the biggest hockey guy, but if points is adding up goals and assists, why do we also care that he has the most goals and the most assists? Like, isn't that redundant at that point? I mean, it's points. We get it. He's got a lot. It's not like if you take away his goals, he's still going to be the best.
That's just because he's that good. If you take away his goals, 894,
damn,
he's still got more points than anyone else. And I mean, it's not even close, Duder. He's got 894 goals, 1,963 assists for 2,857 points. I think second place with points is it's 1,921 Jaromir Jagr. So he's almost got 930 more points than that guy. And goals, he's got 93 more goals than number 2 on the list. The guy who's closest that's still active is Alex Ovechkin. He's got 711. So he's short like 183
You'd have to play
goals.
3 more careers.
Chris, what year
And
did
he's
Gretzky
played 16 years already. Gretzky only played 20 years.
What year did Gretzky retire, Chris?
1999.
99.
And if you like this one, how about this? He's got 9 MVPs. The second
That's
most
what I was
all
looking for.
time. The second most all time is 6. Only one guy did that. And then the third most is 4. From the 20s, from 1929, like Eddie Shore.
And what does Gretzky got? He's got 7. He's got 9. How many has he got?
9.
He's got 9.
Damn.
And he's won the title. You know, he's won 4 cups, and it's a pretty big team sport. You're not even on the ice half the game. 15-time All-Star.
Damn, Gretzky.
Hall of Famer. I mean, yeah.
When you start talking about the sports GOAT, who is the one person that we're gonna separate above all else as the greatest of all time, some of the things I'm looking for are how they separated themselves from their peers.
Roger that.
How much better they were, and you know, like Sove was saying, you start taking away Gretzky's goals, he's still got the most points.
Right.
You start
not even
he's
close.
got 9 MVPs.
Man.
Not even what? Say that again.
It's not even close. Not even. I mean, like the guy behind him is dropped by 4. You didn't even count his goals. You were counting his assists. Wow, Gretzky, not bad, bro.
Yeah, he dominated. He pretty much completely dominated his peers in a way no one really ever has.
What I asked you, Sove, earlier, I wanted to find out when he retired, because here's my problem with that. It's 20 years later. We're supposed to be in this elevated era of sports where, you know, everybody's jacked up on Mountain Dew and having a good time out there. So Gretzky, I mean, in sense, should be blown out of the water in stats 20 years later. But that doesn't seem to be the case.
The interesting thing about that, Timo, is he played in 2 different eras. In the late 70s, early 80s, it was still pretty high scoring and open. But in the 90s and the late 80s, it was like people played the trap, lockdown defense, hooking, clutching, grabbing. It was really hard to score. People weren't having 50, 60, 70 goal seasons anymore. And he still played through the entire 90s and still scored 40 goals, 38 goals. He had 92 assists in 1993-94. That's ridiculous.
You know what I wonder? I wonder with the new baseballs if that'll be an issue too, because I heard someone say that they just added like a new baseball for this year, and it's supposed to be like raising the wall 5 feet because it's a little denser.
Yeah,
ball.
they deaden the balls.
Yeah, there you go.
They are not winding them as tight.
Yeah, so I wonder, like, there's so many. You were saying it was a different season that he played in, and everybody just kind of took it in a different way as far as scoring goals. I wonder if we'll see that in the next 5 years after they change these balls out. So, but Gretzky, I mean, obvious, amazing pull. For some reason, I feel like we're going to see it in Kumite. Dude, moving over to you, brother. What do you got here for the GOAT high five? Stepping off a Gretzky. Nice try. Good. Get your blanket right. Make it nice and tight. And who you got?
So I always have to follow the person who brings death, which is all right. I can handle it. So I mentioned I wanted to see, how much greater this person was than their peers, how much greater they were at their chosen profession than anybody else. So I'm going to give you my number 1, which is Carl Lewis. Carl Lewis is the greatest track athlete of all time. And if you want to compare how hard it is to be the greatest track athlete of all time versus how hard it is to go ice skating, we can maybe do that in the Kumite. We'll find out. But I've gone ice skating. I've never competed in the Olympics in track. Carl Lewis was ranked the world athlete of the century.
Wait a minute, dude. You've gone running. I've gone running.
I've never,
That's the same thing as
done
going
a long
ice skating.
Jump. Carl Lewis has 18 world championships and Olympic gold medals. He is the one of only 3 people to successfully defend his Olympic title in 4 consecutive Olympics. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4. The Olympics are every 4 years.
Who gave
that means over a 16-year period, he was the champ.
Who gave him the title of greatest of all century? Who gave him that title?
The IAAF, the like international governing body who decides these things.
I knew
better known, that people call them the World Athletics.
I knew I was missing a phone call on a guy that we were supposed to have on the show today for fact checking us, and I think it was that guy from that.
From the IAAF.
Yeah, that's the guy. Oh wow, I have to call him.
Carl Lewis went undefeated in the long jump. So he won gold medal in the 100 meters a couple times in a row. He won in the 200 meters. He won in the 4x100 relay. You pick an event.
I was just somebody didn't win.
There, Carl Lewis was the champ.
All right,
but his go-to was the long jump.
Wait a minute.
And he won the long jump.
What about that report that revealed he was one of a few hundred athletes that had tested positive 3 times at the '88 Olympic trials for amounts of various banned substance stimulants? I mean, is there any tarnish on this guy at all?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because the Olympics have never taken anything away from Carl Lewis. However, most of his world records that he set were beat by steroid users, and so the only way it would seem to beat Carl Lewis would be to take steroids. As I mentioned, the man was undefeated.
There is some thought that he might have done it as well. It's just not as concrete.
Well, yeah, there's some thought, but there's some thought that a lot of people did stuff, but if you don't have evidence,
Duder, how close do you put him to Barry? I mean, we're Barry.
I think they're on entire opposite ends of the spectrum.
Okay, all right. I mean, because we're like Barry, we're like yes, but I feel this guy.
I'll put it to you this way: there's some thought Barry didn't.
By who?
Well, I'm sure somebody.
Just the Duder.
I'm sure there's somebody out
and
there who thought about
mother.
it once. Yeah, maybe his mom. Maybe his mom thought about it. But the important thing here is that Carl Lewis went undefeated in the long jump for 10 years.
That's pretty good.
For 10 years, nobody jumped longer than this dude.
I just want to.
That was over 65 meets.
Just a side note: Gretzky retired 20 years ago. Just like
I said, 1999.
I'm just. You were talking about this 10-year long jump thing. Gretzky was got a 20-year hold at the moment. Just putting some.
No, this is while he was active. I'm saying nobody beat him.
For 10
Gretzky
years.
lost while he was active. It's not like Gretzky won the champ. Gretzky only won 9 MVPs. That's 9 years in a row of being the best. Carl Lewis went 10 years of being the best at the long jump.
Every 4 years.
And the only jump to beat him, the only loss ever was to the person who set the world record, and it still stands today.
Damn.
Mike Powell has one jump that's ever been better than Carl Lewis. Carl Lewis was better for 10 years than everybody else.
I'm just really glad we're getting into long jumping because I had the New Foos Outlaws from the 1999-2000 season as my honorary mention for top foosball tag team of all time. And I'm glad that that's going to be able to get some run here because I was worried that these smaller, not really noticeable sports weren't going to be counted tonight. And I'm, Josh, kudos to you.
Very nice.
Thank you, sir.
G, I'm looking at you, man. We pulled you out of the booth and we put you in a chair. Greatest of all times in sports. What do you got for me, G? Huh?
Muhammad Ali.
Oh,
Muhammad Ali. The greatest.
The greatest. The greatest.
Like Gretzky, it's his nickname.
Dude, you got stats on Ali over there as you can pull up while I talk to G. Why is Ali the man, G? What's
in and out of the ring, Muhammad Ali was a icon. He said what he wanted to do. He did it. He did it his way. He did it above reproach. He set an example on how to do it. He pretty much like a Jordan changed the sport of boxing by making footwork even more an art. He brought in the concept of letting your hands just fly. When he threw punches, he didn't throw just the one punch. He threw punches in bunches. He was one of the first people to do something like that.
You know, the thing about boxing is it's not a sport where you get to criticize the athlete very often.
Yeah.
You tend just to, okay, good job. Oh, sorry you lost. You don't really beat him up too much. But
Well, what is his record? 56-5, Duder? Is that what you're seeing?
His record is 56-5. He lost his last 2 fights when he was, 38, 39.
Yeah.
And then the 2 fights before that, he was 1-1. So if you take out his last 4 fights, he's 51-2.
Yeah.
Now, I'll admit I'm not that versed on boxing. I have always considered him the best, but that's just because I feel like that's what people think. But I don't really know. Some of these guys that he fought against were pretty close peers. Was he far and away better than them, or was he just better?
He was just better. He wasn't far and away better. His training and his mental toughness made him a force to be reckoned with. Howard Cosell used to love to talk about that. The man fought and won a boxing match with a broken jaw.
Mm-hmm.
And the boxer that he was fighting, I think it was Frazier, said he was still talking.
Yeah. Well,
while he was getting beat up, Ali was still talking to him, even though his jaw was broken. Now, that right there,
that shows some will.
The physical punishment you take as a boxer is it's like being a running back in the NFL today, because running backs are almost fullbacks now, because linemen are diesel trucks.
Yeah, well, I think
George
more than any
Foreman,
other sport, you're putting your body on the line in boxing. But to your point, Chris, the Muhammad Ali's era is considered the greatest for heavyweights in boxing.
Yeah.
So
and he was the best of his era.
Yeah.
George Foreman fought in that era. He was 76-5, and he won a gold medal at the Olympic Games. Let's see if
and who beat him? Who took his title?
Ali has a gold medal at the Olympics also.
Does he? That's good.
The thing we're missing about Ali, is like Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio, how they had to miss time for the war. And so we give them credit for having these great numbers historically. Ali didn't fight in the war, but he missed time for the war.
Yeah.
And came back and won his title back.
Yeah. He unified the title more times than anyone at the time.
I'm not seeing an Olympic gold on his record, though, guys. Maybe
Muhammad Ali has 11 victories over other Hall of Fame boxers.
At 18, he won a gold medal in the light heavyweight division in 1960 Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
Okay, copy that. I don't know why it doesn't list that on Wikipedia. I guess Wikipedia doesn't like his profile as much as they like George Foreman.
just to throw controversy. Okay, same stage, same arena. Same age, fully trained, ready to go. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Duder. One word answer. Muhammad Ali.
Not even close.
Yeah.
That's not a one word answer.
Ali, it's not even close. Tyson.
Ali,
would
stop.
agree with
Back
you.
up. Tyson would agree. Sove, you said you weren't in boxing.
Yeah.
Would you still go with that route between looking at the stats that you got there between Mike and Ali?
Yeah, for me, I would think that Ali was the best. The problem is he just far and away better than his peers? I didn't think so, but again, I don't know boxing that well. So
G didn't put him far and away better than his peers. He just put him better than his peers. And I guess
he was just better.
And I'll take that about boxing. You don't have to be far and away always. I mean, Mike was far and away better because Mike came out in the first round and put you out.
Yeah,
okay. So he was far and away because
I'll put it this way: Mike Tyson was far and away better when there wasn't as much competition. As Ali.
And that's the problem.
Yep.
But that's why
that was a big problem, because the heavyweight division when Tyson came out was light. It was Pinklin Thomas. You had Evander but he was in
Evander was a middleweight still. When Tyson was
in
a champ.
Different weight class. Then you had. That was it.
Did he ever fight George Foreman?
Mike Tyson has 2 victories over boxing Hall of Famers. Muhammad Ali has 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tyson has that really bad loss to Buster Douglas.
A really
I don't
bad
think
loss.
I
Bad
don't
loss
think
to
there's a big
Douglas, 2
upset
losses to
on record.
Holyfield.
And the loss to Holyfield, yeah, both
All right.
losses to Holyfield.
All right, we're gonna
So,
throw
when
Ali
I
up
think
there.
about greatest of all time, I'm
Yeah.
looking at physicality that had
Okay.
to be used, mental toughness that had to come, and adversity that had to come over. Ali had to deal with when he first came out. He had to deal with racism
Sure.
because that was hard. And then he did the Olympics, came in a year later, went pro, won. Then he became a Muslim. Then all the stuff stopped. And he stood by that conviction.
It was just Allah and done, or what?
He never blamed anybody. He just stood by it. He owned it.
Well,
I don't know if he never blamed anybody, but he came back and knocked everybody out.
But he didn't blame anybody. He said he wasn't going to go over and kill brown skinned people because white people did more to him. The brown skinned people never said anything to him. But over in his country, he's been called all types of stuff. So why would he go and fight for and kill brown skinned people when he's a brown skinned person?
Gotta love the 60s.
Yeah.
Sove, I'm going to come back to you, brother. Again, Josh gets to follow death normally, and Sove, you brought Gretzky, and not being a super hockey fan, he's holding a pretty high place in my heart right this moment. But Sove, can you put Gretzky on tilt with your number 2?
I mean, it would have been Tom Brady, but I feel like I'm going to leave you with Tom Brady, so I'll bring up the other obvious
there you
one,
go.
Michael Jordan.
There you go.
I mean, we all know the story of Michael Jordan. You've probably all seen the 30 for 30 or the Jordan doc or whatever it was that just came out. I mean, 6 titles. He's got an Olympic gold medal and he's got a national championship. He's won everywhere. LeBron doesn't have a national championship. He just skipped college. Michael Jordan, when he was at his peak, he was basically unstoppable. He's pretty widely considered the best. I think LeBron is in the debate now with him. But right now, I think Michael's still ahead of him. It's not as far and away like Gretzky and his peers.
Right.
But it's pretty common knowledge that Michael Jordan, I mean, Air Jordan, you want to get into all those other outlying things like you were doing with Muhammad Ali. We can talk about there's a movie that he was in and he had Air Jordans and he popularized long shorts or whatever. I'm not really looking at any of that fringe stuff. I'm really just looking at on the field.
I'm looking at, you know what,
6 titles.
What kicks me about Michael Jordan, he played baseball. And I mean, yeah. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. But he was like, I think I'm gonna play some baseball. I'm gonna give it a shot. And then he gets to play baseball. Who gets to okay, I'm really good at my sport. You know what? I'm just gonna go try this one. I'm just gonna try this. Oh, you know what? We're gonna sign you to the White Sox.
He's obviously a freak athlete.
So yeah, I mean, he's got to actually, just the fact that he played in 2 major leagues, period.
No, he didn't make the majors.
Oh, he didn't play in the majors at the White Sox?
He didn't play major
professional
leagues.
He was really close.
I always was it White Sox juniors? I don't know. Because I always saw him in the White Sox jersey.
Farm system.
Yeah, I saw. Oh, that makes sense. I always saw him in the White Sox jersey. I always thought, well, then he played for the White Sox. I mean,
but Bo Jackson, he played football and baseball.
Well,
so did Deion Sanders.
Put it to you this way, Debo. Yeah. I dedicated 15 years of my life to be the best baseball player I possibly could.
Uh-huh.
Michael Jordan woke up on a Saturday and decided to play baseball and did it better than I ever did.
But he didn't pitch, dude. You know, that's different.
There you go.
He wouldn't have been able to just start throwing gas or dropping 12 sixes. No way. Yeah. You would have struck him out too. I guarantee it.
You would have struck out.
I guarantee it.
You would have struck out MJ, bro. We had you. We got you.
I think I would have struck him out. MJ, if you're listening to this, let's get something together. We're both past our prime. Let's go settle this old timer style.
Let's go prove some shit
once and for all.
I got you.
He's a pretty good golfer too. We left that
right.
out.
No,
he's an excellent fisherman. They just won the fishing championship.
Did you guys see what he did on his driver's license? It was amazing. No, just me.
He's a really good fisherman.
MJ, I like it. Dude, sliding over. We've covered most of the greats, man. We're almost getting to rattle it off here early tonight, and I think that's because when you talk about the GOATs, there's just very few. I mean, we can talk about high-ranking sports athletes, right? That wouldn't be a problem to talk about some Serenas and some Tigers and things like that. That's fine. That's fine. But I mean. What do you got?
It's starting to get pretty obvious,
right?
It's sport.
It is. It's coming. I mean, it's coming into the narrow. I'm going to go to rattle off. You know what? I'm going to go to rattle off at this point because I believe the Kumite is already it's getting pretty getting crazy, raising the mats over there. But dude, you got anybody else for the high five? Anybody you want to take to the Kumite? Anybody you want to throw out there? GOAT.
Well, so first of all, I think to be the GOAT, you have to be the best of your sport, and I don't put Michael Jordan there. Now, I'm going to go ahead. Personally, I put Kareem there, but I'm not going to go with Kareem.
I had him on my list.
Yeah, Kareem deserves mention. 6 championships, 3 championships in college, 4 championships in high school. All the dude did was win everywhere. But I'm going to give you
4 in college.
All I do was have 4 in college. But I'm going to give you Bill Russell. Because they didn't allow freshmen to play, and his freshman team beat the UCLA varsity. But I'm going to give you Bill Russell, who played 13 professional seasons. In those 13 professional seasons, he won 11 championships.
Yep.
He coached the team for 2 of those championships. Yep. He was the MVP in 5 of those seasons, and he was all-star 12 times.
Did you say
I'm just saying regular season MVP 5 times.
Russell, huh?
Yeah.
Celtic legend, right?
Bill Russell played as many seasons as Michael Jordan and won almost twice as many championships and coached the team to 2 more seasons than Michael Jordan ever coached a team ever.
Yeah.
I'm going to rattle off a few, Debo. I'm going to give you
Simone.
We haven't mentioned baseball yet. I'm going to give you Mickey Mantle. Okay. Mickey Mantle won 7 championships, 3 MVPs, 3 second-place finishes in the MVP, and then 3 more top 5 finishes in the MVP. If you're scoring at home, that's 9 years he was considered in the top 5. 20-time All-Star, but really it's only 16 because they did 2 All-Star games a year for a little bit.
Yeah,
lucky them.
And he won the Triple Crown, which is leading in batting average, home runs, and RBIs, which is cool. But that year when he won the Triple Crown, he had 20 more home runs than the second place finisher in his league. So it's not like he just barely won. We're not talking about Muhammad Ali here in his prime.
Right.
We're getting more towards the Gretzky territory. 20 more home runs than the second place finisher.
Does he have as many hits or home runs as Babe Ruth?
No, but he had to play in an integrated league, so his stats matter more to me.
Sova, you want to bring the Bambino
Which is also
in?
why I didn't include Babe Ruth or DiMaggio.
So you going to bring in?
I was curious.
Okay, no Bambino. I can't believe Bambino didn't make it to the high five, but I mean it happens.
I don't count players who played before baseball was integrated.
You can't really fault Babe Ruth for that. I mean, he pitched.
Sure I can. I absolutely fault Babe Ruth for that. If Babe Ruth would have spoke up and said, "Hey, bro, I want to play against Satchel Paige," they'd have been like, "Let's do this yesterday."
Yep.
But Babe Ruth was like, "Nah, I'm cool. Just let Addy Joss flip over a 76-mile-an-hour curveball that I could hit out of the park."
That's sort of one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard, but I'm going to roll with it. Sounds pretty funny. He was probably too busy smoking stogies, drinking, and eating cheeseburgers, but
it didn't matter to Babe Ruth.
Well, I was going to say,
it didn't change his world.
I can't imagine it would have mattered at all to him. I don't think that he would have been that involved in the management and the what takes it to run a baseball team. That being said, I do agree with you. I think that if a celebrity makes a stink about it, he probably could have made some real change. But
maybe if he'd had Twitter back then, he could have made a stink about it.
I like Satchel Paige. I like Simone Biles. She's changed her sport.
Absolutely. I got Serena, Tiger,
nice.
Obvious.
Of course.
Pele. Pele scored 1,279 goals in 1,363 games. Almost a goal a game in soccer.
He also won 3 World Cups. That's very hard to do.
That's extremely hard
hard to do.
What's
the World Cup? What's the World Cup title? Who's got the most World Cups?
I think it's Pele.
Pele?
It might be him with 3. I mean,
Yeah,
It's every 4
it's
years.
hard.
You're lucky to play in 3.
Yeah.
let
I say,
alone,
you know,
And he's got
got
12 World Cup goals and 14 World Cup games.
You know, the
That's
World Cup doesn't get enough play, and I always even bring this back to you were talking about the Olympics. Every 4 years, you know, we give a lot of these other sports an every year chance. We give football an every year chance. We give, you know, I mean, golf is proven daily almost, you know, but these guys that play in the 4-year sports, being the soccer championship and the Olympics, 4 years you got to keep yourself on tone.
but-
You know, 4 years you got to keep yourself on point. And then you're going to be like, for 4 years, I think I'm good enough. Let's go play with some other. Oh, okay, we're here at the big show against the world, not against like, you know, our country, which is yay. You know, I mean, okay, it's fine. We all play it here, but against the world, like it's Miss Universe for the real universe kind of thing.
But
and
Debo, they play seasons in between that for their club teams.
I get that.
Whereas Carl Lewis, nobody watches what he does in between the 4 years of the Olympics. I mean, the thing with soccer and in a way basketball and golf and, you know, some of these sports we were talking about, it's sort of hard. There's so many great players. It's really hard to separate who the GOAT is in some of these sports. Like soccer, you could make an argument for like 8 guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Messier.
the only one I know
How
is
do you
Pele.
how do you
so.
count goals in the Premiership versus goals in the La Liga? You know, that's.
UEFA, and all those other ones. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what makes people like Gretzky or Jordan or even Ali, people like that, or Tom Brady, they're such GOATs because they have been able to separate themselves. Like Tom Brady's played in 18% of the championship games.
Ever.
That's ridiculous.
Just for more than honorable mention, basically because it just happened. Let's can we get on Tom Brady for a second and talk about my man? I mean, he's done some pretty amazing things, has he not? Is it Tom Brady? Didn't he hold up a whole team by himself? He was like, "Hey guys, I got
pretty
this."
much.
You know, Tom Brady.
He's won 7 titles. He's been to the championship 10 times. He's got more titles than any NFL franchise.
But he can't hold up the team by himself because he can only give the ball to somebody else.
In baseball, that would be like, I don't know, Derek Jeter having 28 titles.
Well, yeah, but still, he can't get the ball. He's not running the ball. He's just giving the ball to somebody else. So it's not like in basketball where you have someone like a Kobe who runs up and down the court, who could take the rebound, run it down the court, and make a point.
Yeah, but I mean, Kobe, who's got the most NBA titles? Does anybody know offhand?
Bill Russell.
No, teams. It's like 18, right? The Celtics?
It's still Celtics, I believe,
Celtics
but Lakers are right there.
And it's like 18 or something, right? Like, are there any players with 18 championships, 19 championships? No.
Bill Russell has 11.
That's how crazy that is. Tom Brady has 7.
But your body in basketball, from what I hear, just can't take that punishment for that long of a time.
Said Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
You know, I mean talk about punishment.
LeBron James
you know,
has played in like 10 championships, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Sure
but LeBron has a
And
different.
he's 4 and 10. Not
Magic
7.
played in 9.
He's
Kareem
built
played
a
in
little
10.
bit differently. He's built like a football player.
Tom Brady has 7 championships, and the next closest person is 4.
I mean, you can't.
And the
get
next closest
sacked in
team is 6.
basketball.
People talk
if
about
somebody like breathes on you, it's 2 shots at the foul line. I don't know. I mean,
I
you
don't
can
know.
play
It
pretty long
depends.
in
If you were doing it back in the 80s, they let a lot of things go in the 80s.
Oh, that's true. That was good basketball.
Yeah. There was a lot of fighting and a lot of elbows.
Joe Dumars.
Yeah, there was a lot that they let people get away with back in the 80s. Basketball was a full contact sport.
I like in the 80s.
I agree. That was good basketball.
I like in the 80s how on every sports arena, if you ever saw a game, when the game was over, the crowd was allowed to storm the field. Like it was a little legitimate thing. Like you'd see complete crowds storming the field for every game. That only happened in the 80s, and then they cut that shit out. They're like, all right, no more. You got to go back.
All it takes for one person to get electrocuted. And
that's right.
They call it back.
One person ruins it for all of us.
Right. Dude, we got a bit of a quick Kumite discussion to make real quick. I say we go back, double check real quick in the locker room, and come back and make a solid Kumite out of this. What do you say?
Let's do it. Katie Ledecky and Ric Flair, honorable mention.
Oh, Ric Flair.
I like Ric Flair. That's solid. I like
Annika Sorenstam didn't get no love. You gave some to
there you go.
Serena.
Martina Navratilova. Billie Jean King. Billie Jean King. She played against men.
She played against one man, and he was old.
Well, he was a dick too, but
Yeah, he
still.
was the dude.
All right, let's
Talk about it.
Let's take it back to break. We're gonna see you guys in just a minute. Be right back.
The Dude and Debo is based on true events. Only the facts have been changed.